I remember sitting on a park bench one evening, watching the sun disappear behind a line of trees. A man, probably in his early 40s, sat a few feet away. He was dressed sharp, eyes heavy, but there was a quiet sadness about him, like a man who'd carried one too many silent disappointments. He was on the phone, and though I didn't mean to listen in, the moment etched itself into me. He said quietly, "I just wanted to hear you say you're proud of me." Pause. She didn't. Another pause. Then he ended the call with a soft, "Okay, I'll talk to you later." That moment, it told 1,000 stories about unspoken needs, about the loneliness that lives in even the strongest men, and about the rare sacred power of a woman's words when they speak to the heart of a man. If this message stirs something in you, if it feels honest, human, and needed, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's keep showing up for each other with truth and heart. I want you to picture a young boy, no older than 6 or 7, standing in his backyard with scraped knees and a toy sword in his hand. He's pretending to be a warrior, slashing through imaginary dragons, defending invisible kingdoms. His eyes are wide with purpose, not because he wants to conquer, but because deep inside, he wants someone, anyone, to look out the window and say, "You're amazing. I see you. I'm proud of you." Now imagine what happens over the years when no one says it. That boy grows up, he starts to believe that validation only comes through achievements, through trophies, through grades, through paychecks, through status. And then, later, through silent sacrifices no one really sees. He becomes a man who learns to perform instead of express, to carry instead of share, to protect instead of ask to be protected. And then, later, through silent regret, to become a man who learns to perform instead of ask to be protected. And then, later, through silent regret, to be committed, to be pursuing, to be... But here's what's never said out loud. Men don't stop needing to be seen. They just get better at hiding the need. We live in a world that teaches men how to build things, careers, muscles, financial empires, but rarely teaches them how to build emotional safety for themselves. We praise them for being providers, yet we forget that humans can't live on bread alone. They need nourishment for the soul, and that nourishment comes from the simplest, most overlooked form of connection, being seen without judgment. And that doesn't come through grand romantic gestures. It doesn't come through flashy rewards or loud declarations. It comes through quiet understanding. It comes through listening when they don't have the words. It comes through not just loving what they do, but cherishing who they are, especially in the moments when they feel like they've failed. The truth is, beneath every man who walks into the world trying to appear put together, there's often a heart that is tender, questioning, and carrying things he hasn't been allowed to say out loud. And let me say this plainly, emotional silence is not emotional strength. The strongest men are not the ones who never cry. They are the ones who are allowed to feel, who are given permission to breathe without earning it, who can finally stop proving and start being. It's easy to miss. You might look at the man in your life, maybe your partner, maybe your brother, maybe your father, and think, he doesn't need words, he's fine. But that's the illusion many men are forced to maintain, that they are always fine because they don't believe they're allowed to be anything else. So instead of assuming strength, let's start asking where it hurts. Instead of praising only their successes, let's acknowledge their efforts. Let's take the time to understand that even the men who seem to have it all together are often the ones who most need someone to simply say, "You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to be human." Because men are not made of steel. They are made of stories they've never been asked to tell, of moments they've endured without a witness, of hopes they've buried beneath responsibility. And when someone, especially a woman they trust, sees them, not for their performance, but for their presence, it's not just healing, it's transformational. It's what turns quiet desperation into soft peace. It's what turns guarded hearts into open ones. So let's start right there with a new kind of noticing, a new kind of honoring. Whether you are honoring or a new kind of love, one that says, I see the human behind the hero, and you don't have to wear your armor with me. There's something profound, almost spiritual, about the way a man softens when he hears the right words. Not praise, not performance reviews, but something deeply human, something rare. And one of those rare, almost sacred sentences is this: I'm so proud of the man you are. Let those words sink in. Not I'm proud of what you did, not I'm proud of your success, not I'm proud of your money, your house, your job, your image, but I'm proud of you, the man you are. There's a kind of stillness that washes over a man when he hears that, not because he's needy or desperate, but because that kind of emotional affirmation is so rare that it almost startles him. Most men never hear it. Not from the world, not from their fathers, often not even from the women closest to them. And the irony is, many men walk around being the very thing they wish someone would notice. They show up, they stay faithful, they take care of others, they fight private battles no one ever sees, they hold back their fears, bury their self-doubt, and push forward because that's what they believe a man is supposed to do. But here's the part no one talks about. Even the strongest man has a breaking point. Even the most composed, quiet, responsible man carries invisible weight on his back, and what we often call stoic is sometimes just unheard. We assume that because he doesn't ask for reassurance, he doesn't need it. That because he doesn't cry, he isn't hurting. That because he doesn't speak, he's fine. But let's be honest. Silence is not peace. Silence is often protection. It's a wall built not out of pride, but out of fear. A fear that if he opens up, he'll be misunderstood, mocked, or even worse, rejected. That's why those words matter so much. I'm proud of the man you are. Because that sentence doesn't just affirm his effort, it honors his being. It doesn't ask him to be more. It tells him you are already worthy, just as you are. You don't know the years it's taken for him to hold it all together. The sleepless nights he never mentioned, the decisions he made quietly, thinking of everyone but himself, the dreams he tucked away because responsibility came first. He may never ask for recognition, but that doesn't mean he doesn't long for it. And when it finally comes, not as flattery but as truth, you will witness a miracle. You'll see the man behind the mask. You'll feel the gratitude in his silence. And maybe, just maybe, he'll look at you with the kind of vulnerable reverence that says, you see me, you really see me. Because here's what many people miss. A man who feels recognized, emotionally supported, and seen will rise. He will open. He will pour his love out like water, not out of obligation, but out of freedom, out of peace. Women are often taught that love is about care and connection. But many men are taught that love is about duty and doing. They don't always speak the language of emotion, but they crave the experience of emotional safety just as much. And when you look a man in the eye and say with full presence and truth, I'm proud of the man you are, you're not just giving him a compliment. You're offering him a kind of belonging that most men spend their entire lives trying to earn. Only you're telling him he doesn't have to earn it. Because love isn't earned. We don't build trust through control. We build it through courageous vulnerability, through the choice to say the beautiful thing even when we're afraid it won't be returned. It takes courage for a woman to lower her emotional guard and say, I admire you. I respect who you are. I believe in you even when you doubt yourself. But that courage, that's what builds emotional intimacy. That's what teaches a man to take off his mask. That's what helps both people find something rare and unshakable, a connection based not on rules or rules, but on reverence. Because here's the heart of it. When a man feels emotionally affirmed, not just sexually desired, not just admired for his strength, but affirmed for his essence, he begins to live differently. He leads differently. He loves differently. Not from a place of pressure, but from peace. Not from fear of failing, but from freedom to flourish. And all that transformation, it starts with a sentence. A brave, tender, soul-bearing sentence. I'm proud of the man you are. Say it, even if your voice trembles, even if you've never said it before, even if you think he already knows. Because love unspoken is still love withheld. And in a world that rarely feeds a man's emotional life, your words may be the only nourishment he receives. Let's talk about time. Not just in hours or days, but in the tender, fleeting kind of time. The kind that sneaks by in silence where years pass and words remain unsaid. The kind of time that leaves us standing in front of gravestones, whispering things we wish we had said out loud while the person was still breathing. Too often we wait. We wait for the right moment. We wait until things are easier. We wait until they've earned it. We wait until we're sure it will be received the way we hope. And sometimes we wait too long. There's a woman I once spoke with, older, quiet, wise in that way people become when they've lost things they loved deeply. Her husband passed away suddenly, a heart attack in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday. No goodbye, no warning, just gone. She told me with tears not yet dry after months, I wish I had told him more often how proud I was, not of what he did, but who he was. I thought he knew. I just assumed. And that's the dangerous thing about love. We assume it. We think people know. We think gestures are enough. We think presence is proof. But presence without expression can feel like absence. Love that is only implied but never spoken is like music never played. The beauty is there, but it's never heard. So we have to say it. Not just once, not just when things are good, not just when he's strong and succeeding, but especially when he's struggling, when he feels unseen, when he doubts his worth, when he's tired. Because that's when the words land in the deepest part of his soul. That's when they become not just affirmations, but anchors. And let's be clear. It doesn't matter if he shrugs it off, laughs it away, or says, "You don't have to say that." That's just the armor talking. That's just the boy inside the man who was never taught how to receive tenderness. Say it anyway. Say it when he's folding the laundry without being asked. Say it when he stays late at work to make sure everyone's okay. Say it when he's short-tempered because life is heavy and he's forgotten how to ask for help. Say it when he's quiet and unreachable. That's when his spirit needs to hear it most. Tell him, I'm proud of your patience. I'm proud of the way you care even when you're exhausted. I'm proud of your integrity, your consistency, your heart. And yes, I know, words can feel small when there's so much unspoken. But words are seeds. They don't bloom overnight, but they do take root. And one day, when life gets hard again, because it always does, those words may be the thing he clings to. They may be the voice in his head when the world is too loud. They may be the whisper that keeps him going when everything else falls silent. You may never know the depth of what your words did for him, but he will. He will remember. Because men, even the most stoic ones, never forget the people who made them feel safe enough to breathe, who told them they were worthy before they had to prove it, who made love feel like rest, not a responsibility. So say it now. Say it with open eyes and a soft voice. Say it in text, in letters, in messy morning conversations. Say it in the way you look at him, in the way you stand beside him when he's unsure of himself. Let your love be loud, not just loyal. Let your respect be spoken, not just assumed. Because in a world where men are taught to hide their hurt and mute their needs, your voice may be the only one that tells him you are enough, I'm proud of you, you are deeply, deeply seen. And saying it today may just mean he doesn't have to wonder about it tomorrow. And so with that, I shall agree to be everyone's most true man. And I say this with all love, levity, peace. I pray You are deeply, deeply seen. Made you feel like you're not alone. My heartbreak is relevant to your heart. And if there's a man, maybe that's the honor